Well, morning YouTube. As it's towards the end of the season now, what are we? We are in the middle of November 2021. I thought I'd do an update on the MultiStrada 1260S. It's been a long season. I've managed to do about 18,000 miles, a further 18,000 miles. So the Desmo light's just come up for its second Desmo service, so it's just touched 36,000 miles. Managed to get away and do a fair few trips this year, obviously hence all the mileage, and a couple of trips overseas. So it's been a good year. And I thought what I'd do before I sort of put the bike away for the winter, I may well ride it a couple of times, but before I put it away for the winter really, I thought I'd give you an update as far as how the bike's going, what I've been doing with it, a few more changes that I've made to it. You can never stop tinkering around with these things, can you, once you start? But a few more things and a few points that have just come up recently that I'm going to need to get sorted before too long. I had a couple of comments on the last couple of emails saying, oh, we want to hear the positive bits about the bike and so on. I think take it as read, it's a fantastic bike. I wouldn't have done 36,000 miles on it in just under 2 years if I didn't love the bike. It's fantastic. The performance of it still now, 36,000 miles on it on the clock, is pretty much near as damn it the same as when I first got it. Okay, there've been a few niggles, but I think that's the same with any bike. But overall, I absolutely love the bike. It's not without its minor faults, if you want to call it that, and I think again for every bike, but take it from me, it's an absolutely fantastic bike for sport touring. Don't do any off-road really, get nervous on gravel traps, so I don't do any off-roading, but I do ride it reasonably sprightly, I suppose is the legal term. Anyway, so it's just 36,000 miles. I've managed to do this year North Coast 500 trip, as I live right on the south coast in the southeast corner in East Sussex. It's a long way, so that was 3,000 miles without any issues at all. Okay, drank a bit of oil, I think just under a litre, but hey, that's what you expect. I did change the tyres before I went up, the usual things. It's just got a brand new fresh set of rubber on it now. Again, I'm sticking with the Road 5s. I've used Road 5s right the way through this. First thing I did to the bike, apart from put the Ducati spacer in the throttle, which is the best 10 quid you're ever going to spend, the first thing I did when I got the bike is take off those Pirelli Scorpions. I didn't get on with them, I've said in the previous videos. This is now either the 5th or 6th, I've lost count, 5th or 6th set of Road 5s, and I absolutely firmly believe that these are the best tyres in UK conditions for this bike. So apart from that, I haven't done too much to it. Like I say, I went away to the North Coast 500, we did a couple more trips around Wales, a few long weekends. Then I did a trip to Ireland. Thank you, bin men. They've just arrived. Hold on. Oh, that sounded like a lot of wine bottles and beer bottles going in there. Right, bin men all gone. So yeah, did a couple of trips this year. A couple of times to Wales, excellent as always. Went across to Ireland, Southern Ireland, did the Wild Atlantic Way, the southern part. So I went across from Anglesey across to Dublin, down to Wexford, Waterford, along the south coast through Cork, and then the Ring of Kerry, up to Dingle, and then up to Galway and back again. So I haven't done the whole Wild Atlantic Way. I did it on my own. Excellent trip. First 4 days, brilliant weather. Got unlucky on the last 2, but I probably will go back and do the whole thing next year. Then me and a few of the lads went across to Luxembourg through the Ardennes, which was excellent. Again, another long weekend trip through France, Belgium, into Germany, up to the Nürburgring and back again. So got out a little bit more than I did last year overseas anyway. But nonetheless, another 18,000 miles. I've done a few changes, as I mentioned, and the one that has made the single biggest difference to me in the riding of the bike, because as we all know with these, they're great once they're on the go, sort of, you know, good B-road speeds and so on, but when you're riding slower, especially for me, I find between 20 and 30 mile an hour, 40, it's in between gears, you know, second and third gear. So it's a bit you know, chucky. A lot of people, you know, experience that. The chain of sprockets needed replacing. I tend to replace them on or around every Desmo service anyway, if not before. But this time I did a little bit of research and sort of counselled a few friends, and they had were recommending maybe looking at a different rear sprocket. So I hummed and hawed. Eventually I did buy the kit, the front and rear sprocket kit, plus a new chain. From Carpimoto in Italy, and I went for the 52 teeth rear. The standard is 40, in case you didn't know. It's 15 at the front, 40 at the back. But they do a kit. It cost all in all with the import charges about 250 quid roughly. So cheaper than the Ducati main dealer, for definitely cheaper than that. But anyway, it's made, although I've only had it on for a couple of weeks, it's made an unbelievable difference. Acceleration, as you would expect when you add more teeth onto the rear sprocket, changes the gear ratios, or the final drive ratios, I should say, not the gear ratios, final drive, so it gives it a little bit more acceleration. You lose fractionally at the top end, but I don't ride this thing anywhere near its maximum speed, so it makes sixth gear a lot more usable in the time that I've tried it anyway. But the acceleration, you know, through second, third and fourth is noticeably quicker. I'm not saying it's lightning quick, but it's noticeably quicker. But the thing that I find now is I can easily ride around at 26, 27, 28 mile an hour in third gear without any problems at all. And there's no way I would have done that previously. So that is a recommend that I really would suggest you at least think about and do your own research, speak to your own friends and so on. But for me, I'd wish I'd done it years ago. Oh, not years ago, but I wish I'd done it much earlier on in my ownership of this bike. If I do get another one, and because it's got 36,000 miles, I am obviously always thinking about you know, what I should do, whether I can find another one. The V4 for me at the minute, I'm not drawn towards it for lots of different reasons. Maybe I'll do another video on that one. But whether I get another one of these with lower mileage, the first things that I would do, apart from that throttle spacer, which I would absolutely do, is put that sprocket on. It's made that much of a difference, obviously, along with the tyres. So yeah, really, I haven't had to do an awful lot. Obviously, it had an interim service since my last video when I did 22,000 miles. I think that was the video I did last. It's had an interim service. Didn't really need an awful lot apart from some brakes, from some brake discs. Sorry, not discs, brake pads. That was about it, really. I've done a couple of things. I'll show you in a second when I get the GoPro out, and I'll just show you. But I've changed the wing mirrors. I've got these Rizoma wing mirrors on it now, more for aesthetics than anything. I thought, well, say aesthetics. I also found the stock ones vibing an awful lot. You know, they're fine at slower speeds, but they did vibrate an awful lot, and I couldn't actually make out who was behind me. So I took them off and bought these things. And apart from looking good, and they're obviously the right colour as far as the chrome and black, the image behind is absolutely rock solid. They do sit in a little bit narrower, that's the only thing I would say, and a bit lower, but you can get different kits. But to be honest with you, it's the image behind that you want to see. So that was a really good move as far as I was concerned. So that's it, really. The only thing I've left to do, and I have just ordered it this morning, which did prompt me to make this video, if I'm being perfectly honest, is I'm quite a big chap, as you can probably see, and I used to side straddle this when I used to get on, so step on the peg, hop over as if I'm jumping on a horse. It's obviously put a lot more bearing and load on the side stand, because the bike over the last excuse me, the bike over the last 9 months or so has been further over on the side stand, and I did have to take it up to my main dealer yesterday to get the fuel sensor replaced finally after 6 or 7 months. Not their problem, just a problem with Ducati. So I've been running without a fuel gauge since early summer, if not mid-spring. All done under warranty, but apparently there is a major issue with them, and they've been manufacturing them. And oh, now we've got the tree surgeons in knocking some trees down. Anyway, we'll carry on. So yeah, I had to have the fuel sender fitted, and they did point out that it is bordering on dangerous. So I've just ordered one, 55 quid I think it is, with all the bits, all the bolt springs and what have you. So I'm expecting that to come in, and you never know, I might start side straddling again. So apart from that, I haven't done too much more. One point that I wanted to show you is that early part of this year, filling up with oils, we have to do obviously regularly with these bikes, I noticed in the inside of the cap a little bit of sort of caramelly type sludge. That's the only thing I can really call it. Didn't look too good, looked a bit worrying if I'm being brutally honest with you. Anyway, I took it off, I cleaned it out with a bud, one of those cotton bud things, put it back on. Next time I checked it, sure enough it's back again. And then when I looked at the sight screen on the, and I'll show you in a second because I think it's pretty much going to be there again. When I looked at the sight screen, again it showed some of this caramel sludge just 2 fingers dripping down. So again, I was pretty worried actually. I thought there was some water ingress into the engine itself. But anyway, I've spoken to the main dealers and they've basically said, yeah, it's a common thing to do with different temperature inside, outside. And nothing to worry about. So that's the only bit I'm not saying I'm not trusting what they say, but it just seems odd, and whether it's because it's done so many miles, I don't know. I'd be very interested to see what you guys think about whether you've experienced something like that with maybe older bikes that have done a similar sort of mileage, or even newer bikes. I'd be very interested if you've had newer bikes, not necessarily MultiStrada, but any Ducati, if you like, that have got the Desmo type engine. I'd be just interested to see what you say. I've been told not to worry about it, and obviously I do regular oil changes and filter changes well above what the recommendations are as far as servicing those things are concerned. So not too worried about it. Apart from that, I might just show you, I might just give you a quick walk around, just show you a few of those points, just so you can have a little look. The only other point, I keep saying that, don't I? The only other point that I did have is I did notice some steering wobble when I was applying the brake at sort of 70, 80 mile an hour. I was getting some vibe through, and I thought that the front discs might need replacing. There's no lip on them. So they don't look as if they're worn. I say don't look as if they're worn. Don't look as if they're worn. So I was all prepped to get some EBC brake discs, replacement discs. But a friend of mine told me that sometimes it happens where you get a warning when you get a build-up of stuff, I don't know what it is, but on either the brake disc itself or the brake pads. So anyway, got some wet and dry out, and my brother, thanks to him, took it all apart, got the pads out, wet and dried a bit of the discs, put it all back together again. Lo and behold, yeah, it's okay. So he saved me a good 450 quid or so, because I was about to pull the trigger on all that. So that's something else to bear in mind if you do get that. Try that first. Not saying it's always going to cure it. You may well have warped discs, but anyway, worth giving that a little go. Is there anything else that I can think of? No, there isn't. Right, so let me just put on the GoPro. I'll talk you around what we're going to do, and then we come back and do a quick wrap up. Okay, so let's start with the easy bits. That's the new Ritzomas. Really good build quality. Well pleased with that. There we go, and you can see stainless steel. I think it's stainless steel, I'm sure it is. Worn really well. That's excellent. And let's have a quick look. Hopefully we can see there. So there we go. Oh, Desmo 37,000. Blimey. There you go. So yeah, stand. Probably can't see the bend in it, but there is a little bend there that needs sorting out. Put the new chain on. Gone a bit blingy with the gold. That looks quite nice. Obviously needs a bit of a clean, but apart from that, that looks good. Right, so the other piece that I was just talking about, and I'm not sure whether you can see it there. Maybe you can. See, there's just a couple of veins there, just above the oil line. I think what I'll do is just whip that off. And can you see in there? It's not great, is it? Well, take for me, there's a little bit of what I would call caramel. So yeah, a little bit of caramel in there. Hopefully you saw it, but like I say, that's probably the thing I'm most, not worried, but just, yeah, I'd like to find out a little bit more about that particular piece. So anyway, that's a little wrap up. 36,000 or 37,000 miles done, more than I thought. In just under 2 years. I would have had it 2 years in the middle of next month, December. So there you go, still love the bike. I will probably have it all of next season, if I'm being honest. I can't see why I would change it. I'm actually now thinking, well, damn it, let's put 50,000 miles on it, do another video and then get rid of it. It's probably worth tuppence halfpenny, but I'm going to do 50,000 on it, see what it's like, and then give a proper, you know, owner's review. Anyway, hope you liked it. Please like, subscribe, share, and most importantly, let me know about those points, especially to do with the oil. Speak to you soon.